Welcome back. So we get back to one of the top stories of the day. The MK party is among parties calling for Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's resignation, saying he's failed to lead his portfolio. Secretary General Floyd Shivambu earlier claimed his party was the only one that was against the VAT increase. The MK party's Dr. Mthanti joins us now for more. Dr. Mthanti, thank you so much for joining us. I actually think I want to start with this. If when you woke up this morning, that you were expecting to hear that we would see a VAT U-turn. I mean, there's the hoping for one, and then there's the expectation, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Naledi, for inviting me. Good evening to you and your viewers. It was an expectation, partially because of how the court case went. I think if you listen to it quite attentively, the judges were very clear in terms of some of the issues that were being raised around the parliamentary process, around the powers of the minister to unilaterally raise VAT, issues of taxation without representation. Where do the powers actually lie to levy taxation on the population? Do they lie with the executive, or do they lie with parliament, our constitution? And the Constitutional Court's interpretation has been very clear that it lies with Parliament.
Okay, and so one of the calls being made then by your party is saying it's time for the Finance Minister to be removed or to resign. What's your why? Talk to us about why.
Generally, I mean, it's pretty clear he should resign or be fired. He can't manage the portfolio. He's got no clear growth strategy. Our main problem in the country, according to us, is a lack of economic growth, a lack of jobs. Unemployment rate, the extended one, is way above 40%. Yeah, youth unemployment is above 60%. None of what he has presented speaks to that. He's just a complete failure.
Yeah, but those are some of the broader issues that you're talking about, challenges that certainly the country's had for many, many years, even before his tenure. Why zone in particularly on the finance minister? Maybe talk to me about what it is that motivates this. Is it about the VAT?
It's not only that. Well, partially it's incompetence, the way he has handled this budget process. But I think more to the point, we used to have a national development plan. What has happened to it? What is this budget trying to achieve? He can't exactly explain that, right? The problems are there, right? They have been there. They've gotten worse under this government, and they've gotten worse under this finance minister.
But your view on his handling of the VAT issue. So I'm trying to zone it into where we are right now, and certainly the big conundrum that he's dealing with at the moment.
No, the obsession about the debt to GDP ratio, the deficits, all of that, in our view, are merely symptoms of economic failure. If the economy is not growing, debt is going to increase, right? If unemployment is not growing, more people are going to be on social grants. There'll be spending pressures, right? So this increase in debt, right, debt to GDP ratio, this whole issue around VAT, is driven by very ideological policies that have failed in South Africa over the last 7 years, and that have failed in every country in the world that has tried to implement them. I mean, if we're empiricists, you say you're following a particular policy, where has it worked?
What would the MK party then put on the table? So now I give you the opportunity to say, okay, well, you're in the finance minister's office, and perhaps you need to lobby to parliament, whichever it may be, and you need to, and to the various political parties, and you need to talk about what to do about that 75 billion rand shortfall. What is it that you put on the table? Yeah.
I won't be locked into the ANC straitjacket. It's a shortfall because of a lack of proper application and thinking. Countries that have developed, that have grown, have primarily grown through one strategy. One, land reform. Two, redirecting the surplus from primary industries to diversification and manufacturing. Three, the heavy investment in infrastructure and human capital. Four, financial repression and redirecting the money from the banks towards tradable sectors. and productive sectors. That is the strategy. So when you locate this budget, what should it be doing within that, right? The key is heavy investment in human capital and infrastructure. Does this budget do that?
Okay, and final question. I mean, we had the press briefing this morning of the ANC with the various other parties, most of them within the Government of National Unity, but you also had the inclusion of Action SA and BOSA in that press briefing. The MK party having said that it was against this VAT hike, is there any sense that that the MK party may have missed the bus here, and perhaps you've seen parties like Action SA and BOSA be able to enter the fray but still hold their position on the VAT hike?
Enter the fray how? In supporting the VAT hike. I mean, they've supported the VAT hike. MK was not going to do that. Even if the VAT hike is removed, we would not support this budget because fundamentally it will do nothing to address economic growth or to address the unemployment crisis. It's a failed strategy. The DA offers a different alternative. It argues that if we privatize, liberalize the labor market, do so quickly, growth will happen. But that hasn't worked. It hasn't worked anyway. All of those policies that led to failure and mass poverty of people. Why would we want to take our people into poverty? It's good that the VAT has not been increased, or the VAT increase will be withdrawn. But in saying that, the finance minister was talking about cutting spending on things like social grants, right? Getting the poor of the poorest even in deeper trouble. There's almost a deep hatred for poor people, dare I say for African people, by the elites in the country. MK is firmly against that. We are with our people. The primary goal of ours is how do we grow this economy, but crucially, how do we grow this economy in a way that gets our people employed, gets them being able to buy food for their children, gets them being able to afford a decent lifestyle.
Okay.
That is the primary goal. That should be the primary goal of economic policy, the welfare of the population.
Yeah.
But if you've got parties like the DA and the ANC with the budgets that they advocate that will worsen the social crisis, MK will not be part of it, will oppose it.
All right. All right, Dr. Mthanti, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Dr. Mthanti there of the MK party, and of course the party believing that, rather calling for the resignation of Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana.